We got the mics on.
It's a nice set.
I think we've done a really nice job here, young man.
I mean, listen,
Feels good.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Different environment.
Different environment. I was reluctant on rehiring our staff.
Oh, here you go.
That you fired.
That you fired.
That you
got
fired
rid
so
of.
prematurely.
That's why we had to carry all this equipment through the parking lot.
Right. But they really just helped us when we taking our, Kiss and Tea podcast on the
on
road.
the
Yes,
on the road. So let's do this. Let's do this really quick. Let's get this out the way. This is Kiss and Tea podcast. This is episode 30.
Episode 30.
30.
30.
Interesting. You say that in your native tongue.
Yes, sir.
That is Creole. No, French. French.
Yeah,
We've established this.
Yeah.
We've had some cultural understanding, some cultural back and forth.
Talk to me.
On this show, time and time and again.
Mm-hmm.
You, if for whatever reason somebody's just now tuning into the Kiss and Tea podcast, Kiss is Haitian.
Right.
Sometimes it's questionable.
If I'm Haitian or not?
Sometimes I call him a fake Haitian.
No, I'm
a Haitian.
I'm 100% Haitian.
Just to get under his skin. I truly, I've known this man for over 20 years. I know how Haitian this man is in so many different ways.
Facts.
Right, wrong, and indifferent.
100%.
Right?
100%.
And so I like to poke light at the cultural differences that you and I share.
Mm-hmm.
But I need you to look at me closely.
I'm looking at you.
Do you know where we're at right now?
Of course I know where we're at.
This is the first historically black college and university. When we talk about black American culture, when we talk about black American culture, there's only really three strong pillars. You know where I'm going. Three strong pillars.
I see how you just flipped it on me.
Oh yeah.
Just flipped it on me. Talk to me about your culture.
Came in real endearing, real soft, friendship, culture exchange. No. Okay?
Cool.
Look where you're at. All right? This is black culture, right? This is black American culture. The first historically black college and university, okay?
Proud to be
Show
here.
some respect.
Proud to be here.
You hear me?
Proud to be here.
Thank you. No, thank you.
No,
But hey,
no,
look
proud
at
to
me.
be here.
Look at me. I'm the captain now.
You're the captain?
I'm the captain now. You hear me on the Kiss and Tea podcast. Episode 30. We're on the road here. Cheney University.
Yes, sir. Feels
the
good.
first historically black college university.
Nah, definitely feels good.
A lot of history.
A lot of history.
Yes.
I need you to, take me through a crash course.
I feel like I can do that.
Since you're the expert on black history.
There's some folks. Hey.
Since
okay.
Expert,
do not do that to me. Do not do that to me. We are rolling. Our mics are good. Making sure our mics are good. And you cannot actually label me as like an expert. There are folks out here who do
definitely
this. All right.
Listen,
I'm just an HBCU enthusiast. I love HBCUs. I love my culture. I love what the HBCUs do for the culture, how it moves the culture forward.
And
I love it. I love it.
And because of that, right, we got to strategize and said, listen, what's the next phase?
Let me be careful with my Kiss and Tea mug here.
Yeah, I'm going to need you to be careful.
Yes, sir.
And not make a fool of yourself. On the Kiss and Tea podcast.
A little sip.
First episode
yes, sir.
on the road.
What you got for me?
No. I just I think it's dope being on the road.
Yeah.
Whatever case may be, I think like I know your passion. You know what I mean? Obviously,
Thank you.
Yeah, please.
Don't
fool yourself too much.
But I know I'm a weirdo.
Yeah, no.
Some
I
things
don't
really
think
get me going, and this is one of those things.
I know your passion. I mean, clearly, you own D9, whatever case may be, and D9, HBCUs underpin D9.
Without question. Yes, sir.
So again, I know that you're well versed in it. I'm not going to say that you're an expert, but you're well versed in it, right? So first,
yes,
I just want to say it's a pleasure to be here. It's an honor, actually.
I appreciate you being here, man. Do you remember this place?
Yeah, I remember this place.
Okay.
I remember the good, bad, and sometimes ugly. We grew up in
just backstory. Yeah. This is one of the places where we've learned how that before we were in college, we were in high school. We used to come up here and attend some of the parties here, right?
Yes, sir.
Good stuff. Some good fond memories here.
Yes, sir. Yes,
for a lot of people.
Yeah. Cheney University.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Now, with that being said,
yes, sir. What you got?
Right. One of the reasons I wanted to hit these HBCUs, and this is going to be first of many. You know what I mean?
Why not do it at the first?
Yeah, Kiss and Tea on the road. But so HBCU's been in the news, right? A lot.
Yes.
Whether it be
trending topic.
There you go. You hit it on the head. Very trending topic.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever case may be, right? So I just think I'm always reluctant to just jump on the bandwagon of trending topics, right? I understand the waves, etc. Right? But I want to speak to the core of HBCUs, or what I feel could or couldn't be the core, right, or what's important.
Sure.
Be, right? And I am going to just sum it down and really dummy it down for you and bring it real home for you.
Thank you.
Right?
Okay.
Why should your niece, right,
okay.
my daughter, your goddaughter, choose an HBCU over a Harvard
PWI?
Or I don't know what PWI stands for.
Predominantly white institution.
Whoa.
Listen to me. Talk to me. I'm sorry. Let me let you finish.
So the PWI is what I was just referring to, the Ivy Leagues. That's
it's either HBCU, PWI. That's the distinction.
Cool. I've never heard the
predominantly white institution. I'm
loving
heard this.
The acronym.
Yeah.
Right?
PWI.
PWI. Nor have I heard the phrase predominantly white institution.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I'll throw another one in. HSI.
What's that?
Hispanic Serving Institution.
So you're gonna have to slow down.
I know. All right, we'll stick with the HBCU for a second.
HBCUs. Right? So she's smart.
Yes, sir.
Jay's smart. She's gifted. Whatever case may be. Get her from her mom and all that. Right. She's gonna get a full ride wherever she wants to go. Whatever. You know what I mean? What's the pitch? What's the argument? Right. You know what I mean? Again, it's a trending topic. You know what I mean? It's in the news. For me as a parent who just want to make sure that, my daughter gets the best education, but more important for me, the best experience of college.
Well, there you go.
You know what I mean? Because it's not about the grade. This is why, this is why we chose to, you know what I mean? Shout out Luha. This is why we chose, Luha.
Shout out to Luha. Absolutely. Yeah.
We were thinking about, the experience as opposed to just, the grades. So help me out. Walk me through that. How do I navigate that process? Because, in all ignorance, you say, hey, Torrance, what does HBCUs mean to you? I'm sure you're probably going to, hit multiple points. You're probably going to be speaking, for 30, 45 seconds, what have you. You ask me that, I'm probably going to give you, a 2 or 3 word response. You know what I mean? So that there's clearly a void there, right? So what I need my good friend to do is try to bridge that void, right? So why should I consider an HBCU versus, PWI?
Everybody's experience is different.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I'm certainly not one just because I'm so pro HBCU. I'm so
let's start
much
there.
of an advocate.
Let's start there. Why are you such an advocate? Why are you so pro HBCUs?
Oh, now you're gonna need 45 seconds. All
I
right?
got 45 seconds.
There's some back history. There's some understanding the relative context, and I know a lot of folks sigh at the idea of why can you not talk about the black experience without the context of slavery, right?
Right.
You asked me about HBCUs. Why am I talking about slavery, right? And let me tell you why. Because you got to understand one and how one lends its appreciation to the other, right? And so when we talk about what slavery was for many enslaved Africans and from generations African Americans, we're going to use that term.
Right.
Education was looked at, the idea of knowledge.
Sure.
It was looked at as the way out. It was the thing. It was clearly something about this education thing.
I still think that's somewhat true today.
Ooh, we can go there. We can go there.
Right, but
yes,
carry
sir.
on. Yeah, I still think that's
well, that lends itself to the question, why are still HBCUs prevalent even to today? And we can even talk about that and cross that bridge. But absolutely,
right.
Education was it.
Right.
I mean, when you talk about you're enslaved and they literally got law. Listen, if I was a slave master, which I would never be, right? I could rape my property. This is my property. I could do whatever I want to my property.
Sure.
Except teach them. It was in the books. It was laws. You couldn't, if you were caught teaching someone who was enslaved how to read,
right,
you're done.
Right.
So that signals, what is it about that knowledge, that information, that school? And so for a lot of enslaved folk, they would maybe walk into the master's quarters and they would see someone reading a book and they would actually say, they talking to that book. Like they talking to that book.
Right.
And they would see the revelation that would come from reading, from new knowledge. I got to get that.
Right.
I want that.
Right.
And for a lot of folks, that's my ticket out. That's my freedom right there. Education. The very thing that this society in America chose to, at a very point in time, say, we understand the value in it so much so, we need to keep this select group of people so dormant, so just in a space where the only thing they can do is follow orders, that we got to keep them from learning how to read.
Sure.
Keep them from
Well,
gaining new information.
Knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power, and this was steeped in slavery. Fast forward, 1837. Mind you, slavery is still taking place.
Right.
Cheney University, the first institute of higher learning for people of color.
Right.
The first one. No Cheney, none of this other stuff you talking about, okay? Blueprint, here. Blue chairs. I'm wondering why the colors here, you got blue all around.
Right.
The blueprint, you hear me? This is the first. So we know how valuable education was to society in general.
Right.
Insert HBCUs. And let me just go ahead and fast forward. I got a few things to say about that, but let me fast forward to your question because I don't want to be long-winded.
Mm-hmm.
Why your niece? Insert HBCUs. A place where you can attain new information, i.e. learning, knowledge,
right,
in a safe environment. And let me tell you something. You talk about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I don't know what other environment, any other culture I want to be in to learn than in a safe space.
Agreed, 100%.
Safe.
100%. 100%.
You hear me? Safe. Do you hear what I mean by safe, though? Not necessarily talking about from physical harm.
Right.
Okay.
Right. I think,
safe.
Yeah, right. I get what you're saying. I mean, well, back then, let's be honest, it would be from physical harm. All right. So
true indeed. Thank you for saying.
Let's keep it.
I'm sorry, I brought it back to
right. But you know, present day, you're more talking. You're more okay. I'm assuming, you correct me if I'm wrong. You're referring to the atmosphere, the culture.
Without
right?
question.
You're referring
unapologetically
to,
black.
Exactly.
Unapologetically.
Exactly. Right. And you know how I feel about that, whatever case may be, right? About, one world, one race. At the same time, you know how I feel about my black folks.
Yes.
Right? But sticking to the education portion of it.
Yeah.
Right. Because I understand why, HBCUs were created.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I think, they still serve.
Did you say why they were created?
You said why they were created.
I'm sorry, I wanted to backpedal a little bit.
Oh, you want to
because there's a layer I missed, and I want to make sure when you say why they were created.
Right. Part of why they was created.
Part.
Okay. Right. Give me the complete
picture. You got to think about who founded them and why many of them in the South were actually created. And it was many of it. When you look at some of the names of some of the HBC, Florida A&M, agricultural and mechanical, and a lot of these schools were created to basically civilize what we were thought to be as barbarians, right? We were uneducated. We're talking about enslaved black people. A civilized way, but to also keep them in the place of lower society, working, tilling the fields, working all that good stuff.
Is it a fair statement to say the quality of education, when, in the outset, when the HBCUs were being established, was it that good? Because the objective, as per what you're telling me, was to, educate to the point to, where it's civilized.
Yeah.
These folks ain't out here killing us and killing themselves, right? But, we're not really educating these folks, to be doctors and be, professors, astronauts, and what have you.
I think that's a fair assessment. There's 105 current HBCUs in existence, I believe now. Mm-hmm. Each had its own reasoning for inception.
Okay.
But by and large, yes, it was to, you have folks like Booker T. Washington.
Has it transitioned to the point where, again, I'm sticking.
Of course. Well, it's relative.
Okay.
It's relative. And so, and that's why I want to be careful about, you have some folk like a W.E.B. Du Bois who chastise a Booker T. Washington for founding a Tuskegee Institute, which is an HBCU in Alabama. Mm-hmm. Founding it almost on the principle of, hey, guys, we're going to stick to the trades.
Okay.
We're not doctors.
Right.
Right? And it's signaled. In fact, he had a speech where it signaled to society, hey, we know our place, society, us black folk. That's why there's some folks that got some issues, real issues with Booker T.
Right.
We know our place in society, folk. We got this Tuskegee Institute, and what we're going to do here is we're going to teach them how to do carpentry. We're going to teach them how to do, landscaping. We're going to teach them how to build buildings and stay in that role.
So, real quick pivot.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? I mean, you.
Oh, me personally.
You personally,
Yeah.
and you with the knowledge.
Yeah.
You know that you have with respect to HBCUs with the lane that you're in.
Yeah.
You own a staffing company. I mean, D9, HBCUs, etc., etc. How do you feel about that tactic? And let's be fair.
You're gonna hate me.
You're
gonna hate me for my answer.
No. Let's be fair and not apply it to present day.
Come on, you took what I was about to say because, well, okay, you're talking moral relativism, right? Thinking about what Booker T was trying to do back then, right? And so that's why I was going to say you may not like my answer, but you may understand and appreciate my answer because okay. Let me be very clear. Let me draw parallels. W.E.B. Du Bois was saying, y'all bugging. We are way more than that. We are intellectually superior. I mean, you're talking W.E.B. Du Bois. He graduated from Fisk, Harvard, and went over like in England somewhere and studied. Like, he was the man, right? And he despised the idea that a Booker T. Washington, who had this much clout and credibility in the South, could say, "Hey, signal to white people. Hey, white people, we know our place. This institute is really built for black folks to come in, get civilized, but also just stick to our trades. We not." And WEB was saying, "Man, cut that out." So to answer your question, I feel like I kind of understand Booker T's play.
Okay.
And I want to think, this is just me being, I guess, a bleeding heart. I want to think Booker T knew we could think beyond, us black folks can think beyond.
Absolutely.
You know,
absolutely.
It's Booker T. Washington. This man walked across Virginia just to go to Hampton.
Absolutely.
I want to say he knew that, but he also understood his audience, and he was trying to get some stuff done. I believe. What do you say about? Is this new information for you? Like, this is kind of the HBCU. Welcome to the HBCU landscape.
I mean, I'm going to be fair.
Okay.
Most of it, I think part of it is new.
Yes.
The Booker T, that conversation, that's not new.
Yes.
Whatever. That's why I have hard feelings about that. Whatever. That's why I would understand your position, whatever case may be. And I mean, and not, we're all, I think, not because we're just friends and all that. Probably is because we're friends, you know what I mean? We don't differ, you know what I mean, too much, you know what I mean, on different points, because I feel the same way.
Yeah.
With respect to Booker T, I feel as though, you know what I mean, his play was more of a short-term play.
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, he's not shooting to be on the moon right now, whatever case. He's like, listen, let's get somewhere and keep building from there, whatever. I mean, so I just think it's I don't think it's fair. Again, we're pivoting.
Talk to me.
I don't think it's fair to just just have that hang over him, all the time.
It's tough.
All the time.
Think about what he was signaling, though.
I understand.
We are inferior. We cannot achieve.
Listen,
he made the
48 laws. Sorry to cut you off.
No, I know.
48 laws.
I know. Was he on that?
What don't you do?
What are we talking?
You don't outshine
the master.
Exactly.
I know.
Okay, so I look at it more as a double agent, right? But let's pivot back to the.
I love that, and that's where I am with respect to Booker T.
Right.
But trust and believe, I love the W.E.B. Du Bois. Like, hey, you bugging? We smart, we intelligent,
right?
And y'all white folk tripping because after Booker T kind of made that proclamation, he had the Rothschilds on his side. He had the Goldman Sachs. I mean, he had the money behind him at that point.
Right.
Because they wanted everyone, it made white folk feel good.
Exactly.
And was that the play?
If it's again, I think we spoke about this.
But thank you for saying
that's good stuff. If it's a play, I get it. Yeah. And I think it was the play. I think it's a short term play.
I think he was smart enough to kind of
Yeah. I mean, listen, I get the long term stuff. Yeah. But there gotta be incremental benchmarks. Yeah. We gotta have some type of incremental successes. Whatever, you know what I mean?
I agree.
But
safe space though, man. These create some safe.
I want to challenge
spaces.
You with a safe space.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Yeah, okay. I get it's not physical. Yeah, I get it. You know what I mean? It's not. It's diverse. Yeah. You want to be comfortable in your skin.
Without question.
Whatever case may be, because it's just like swimming.
You got to get comfortable in your skin. You hear me? You gotta be in some places to make you feel comfortable in your skin.
That's why I said swimming. Right. If you're gonna teach a kid how to swim, the water cannot be cold.
Okay.
Right. It gotta be warm.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? The environment gotta be friendly.
That's a fact. And the environment has to be because what you're trying to do.
Trying to nurture.
Exactly.
Whatever.
And you're trying to teach.
So are you saying there's a difference?
Without question.
Okay. Before you answer.
Yeah.
Are you saying there's a difference in culture?
Yeah.
All right. And if you're saying yes, since you prematurely answered.
Well, because I had the opportunity of going both, to a PWI and an HBCU.
Right.
Yeah.
Very good. Right. With that being said, you're very passionate. Viewers, he's very passionate about this, right? And this is why we're here. First stop of many more, honestly.
And a continuing conversation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So the culture is definitely different.
Yeah.
Right. Try to, from a Torrance point of view, whatever case may be, right? Why do you think the culture
like an interview?
Different? It's not an interview because you just clearly said I went to both. So you experienced both, so you'll be able to,
I can speak to both, sure.
Yeah, right. Sure. So okay, so tell me how the culture is different. That's one, right? And tell me what do you think, what factors or factors.
I'll tell you pros and cons. Want me to do pros and cons?
No.
You don't want me to do pros and
cons? No. Tell me how they're different and tell me what factors actually, made that different.
Yeah, I can give you, and the difference between the two lies in the pros and the cons.
Okay.
The pros that I find in HBCUs that I do not find at PWIs, and I can't, again, it's
from your perspective. I think you're with your experience and everything.
There are some amazing PWIs with some great cultures, and maybe you're not a number there. But from my experience, I was just a number.
Okay.
It was just a number.
Right.
The pro in that number is that the systems in place are a little bit more conducive to you just being a number, meaning you are just a part of the process, and their processes administratively are intact. Meaning all I got to do is come and swipe my card. I ain't got to say a word. They know why I'm there.
Okay.
They know what's going on with me. All I got to do is swipe my ID card, right?
Oh, right.
Because you're a number. You're in a system, in a database, and they have all the information they need about you. At a HBCU, they know you by name. There's no number.
Okay.
Right? They know you by name. They understand, for the most part, who you are, where you're from, and many of the barriers and hurdles that's unique to this population, which in my mind affords it even a greater opportunity in culture to nurture.
Now, does that
you meet people where they are.
Right. Does that take place? Again, let me go back to Jordan. Right. Does that take place during the submission process? When you said they know you by name, right? That entails the counselor or whoever's helping you out with the process or assisting you with the process to put some time in.
Without question.
So does that start during the submission process? How can they, of course they're not going to know you so well to be like, I know this person on an intimate basis level, right? But if you're saying they know me by name and they know where I'm coming from, whatever, are they investing time or is it, I know you by name, yes, but I know where you're coming from, I know what you're going through because you live in this region?
Let me tell you something. It may be somewhat of a regional thing, but I think it's a cultural thing.
Okay.
I could be jumping out the window by saying this, but I just think it's extremely difficult to do wrong by your own. I'm not saying it's impossible. We do each other wrong. But culturally, I think it's easier to do someone else that's not part of your culture wrong than it is for you to be able to do somebody that looks like you. And so I say that to say, when I walk into the admissions office or if I walk onto a campus, an HBCU campus, there's already sort of an infinity there before I even open a word. There's already somewhat of an understanding before I say anything, right? And so I don't know if it's regional more so it's just cultural. We understand each other. I can step on an HBCU campus with my hair looking crazy.
Right.
And not be looked at as crazy.
Right. So help me, right? Because keep it 100. I might get some heat, whatever case may be. Hopefully I don't, whatever, because I'm trying to get challenged in my ignorance, right? So say you just said, when you walk into a HBCU, your appearance, no one's going to judge you on your appearance. Your hair could look crazy, this and third. I get that, whatever case may be. But for a parent, me, that is so big on diversity and so big on, we can't reinforce the same stuff over and over. Whatever case may be, right? Meaning, I want you to engage with people that don't look like you.
Oh, I like that one.
You know what I mean? I want you to, be challenged. I want you to be uncomfortable because when you are, you're good. You're actually learning. You're actually gaining some skill sets, whatever. Right? So I do want some level of comfort, whatever. But I'm trying to. Hopefully, for me, can you go there and can your views get challenged, right? And my beef, well, not my beef, my perception, and probably was an incorrect perception of HBCUs. It was just like it reinforces, for me, it reinforced the separate, but equal situation, whatever, which I have a serious problem with. You know what I mean? So that's why I said, you know what, fam, let's go on the road. You know what I mean? Let me get some education, whatever case it be, because clearly, you know what I mean, like, there's a deficit on knowledge and, research on my end, whatever case it be. But honestly, from a parent, that's what I look at. Like, okay, HBCUs, they're trying to compete with these Ivy League colleges, whatever case it be, or universities, right? Which is fine. Listen, I'm all for it. But I just think, the message still resonates where it's separate but equal. And I have a problem with that.
Speak to me about that. Separate but equal. Firstly, you're using the real legal term when that was real, separate but equal. Where HBCUs, that's not the case. Everybody's welcome. Okay, you be white, Puerto Rican, black.
So is there
it's just historical.
Is there a component of diversities in HBCUs?
Without question, but I'm not going to jump out the window and be the one to say, yeah, you can come here and see 30% white people, 20% Indian, and 50% black. No, you're going to get your blackness here. Facts. You know what I mean? Or most HBCUs, there's actually an HBCU that actually has more white folks. Okay, but that's another story.
To your point, to your point, like you're going to a HBCU,
it's historical black.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, what do you expect to see?
Right.
You know what I mean? So,
but by and large, when you challenge in terms of, I'm always taken back when folks say the reason why HBCUs has lost its effectiveness is because it doesn't allow you to your point. What they say when you go out into the real world, how you engage with white people, basically in a nutshell, right? How is it going to teach you to engage? And and from my perspective, going both from an HBCU and a PWI ain't as it relates to the one-to-one going on the job, dealing with those microaggressions and all that other stuff that people like to cloak it in. The PWI ain't it didn't help me out in that regard either. You know what I mean? I feel like it's always this comparison about expectation of how it's supposed to prepare you for quote unquote the real world, as if black people ain't a part of the real world anyway. Number one. Number two, again, that safe space. What are we going to school for? Yes, we're going for the experience, but ultimately we want to get this knowledge. For sure. How many times have people gone to school, got no knowledge, all experience, and worthless to us in society? Right? We're going here with a purpose. So if that purpose, that fundamental purpose is to get some information and knowledge, what better place to do that in if you are black? I'm only talking about black folk, to be honest. You know what I mean? Sure. Than to do it in the safest environment where everywhere you turn and look. Man, you know what I'm going to do? We're going to show some B-roll of what we're looking at and where we're at. Marcus Foster Center. Everywhere you look and turn, it's somebody of significance that you're reminded of. Across the way, it's Marianne Anderson Musical Center.
2 words.
You feel what I'm talking about?
2 words.
Yes.
Black excellence.
Black excellence. Influence. Inspiration. That's what you get at every single turn here.
And this is why I jumped on it. I said, listen, fam, T, I'm all for it. When you said, listen, you want to have this conversation? Yeah. We need to have this conversation.
Why not?
At the first established HBCU.
Why not?
You know what I mean? So,
why not? And, there's some talks about, whether being the first, because they have the Lincoln University right down the street. They're the first to actually grant degrees. They're going to get like technical and all that.
Okay.
Nah, you sitting in the first, right?
Got it.
That's what it is. The blueprint.
Okay.
And so that's why I get, and not to mention, just to kind of just pull back the layer, you talk about it being HBCUs preparing you for the real world. I also believe that's just, it's almost like it shows me inside your mind of how much credit you really giving these white folk. Like you really believe by you going to an HBCU is going to take away from you being able to deal with the real world. But no, you're not saying real world. You're saying the white world. Right. Like we ain't had to deal with that since birth anyway.
Yeah, I think that
taking 4 years to get right, so I can really propel myself.
I agree with you 1,000%. I think that argument, holds no water, right? However, I think there's a layer to that argument, right? And which is a concern. You know what I mean? Obviously, you're addressing my concerns, etc. Right? Where I don't want my daughter or son, rather, you know what I mean, both rather, to fall under the trap of being, very educated, right? Being educated in a very, very safe space, having that black excellence, right? And being just one lane. Yeah, I'm very big on, it's one world, right? Yeah. But it's a big world.
Oh, it's a
You know what I mean?
dynamic world.
Yes, and you need to know how to move in, move out, and the only way you're able to be successful,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, that high level is to be like you just said, to engage, and not just with white people,
Yeah.
with everybody, whatever case may be.
Yeah.
Right.
But can I highlight a really important point that I believe my heart.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Before I engage with anybody else, I need to know who I am. You feel me? Like before I start really, because I've been one to lose myself
And
trying to engage with other folks, appease other folks. And now I'm like, now I'm at an Irish bar saying, "Sweet Caroline."
I hear you.
You hear me?
And you're saying, well, are you saying the HBCUs, right, will
confidence
will help with that process?
Confidence.
If you find in yourself,
Absolutely.
give you that confidence and all.
Come
that.
on.
Okay.
If you don't have, in this world, we have very few signals outside of Black History Month, right? And everybody won't pull Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. Everybody won't pull that up during February. But what are the other signals we have in our everyday life that tells us just how we talk about King? Hey, King, what's up, Queen? Right. But outside of that, what do we have that's edifying us on a daily basis? Well, here you getting that you come to Cheney University, you getting 4 years of that edification everywhere you turn. You getting reminders. What we see right now, all the different flags of the fraternities and sororities and what they mean and the history that they got going on. Yeah, you're reminded that at every single step. Oh, and by the way, on Fridays, you come through here, Marcus Foster, you might catch some fried chicken, some whiting, some mac and cheese, real mac and cheese. You hear me? Some sweet potato, some candied yams. You're not getting that at no PWI. You know what that does here? That signals to me like this is okay. This is my culture. This is what I grew up on, and it's okay to have this served in the open like this.
I mean, listen, fam.
And it's okay.
I think you said you've been.
I gotta know who I am, man, before I start dealing with these other folk.
You just said it again, like it's okay. I think for me, whatever case may be, I'm just hearing you speak, and that's why I was quiet. You see what I mean?
Sorry, I was yelling.
No, you weren't yelling. No. I actually, you know what I mean. You and this is not for the viewers. This is not, you know what I mean. You know, I don't stroke egos. That's not what I do. Whatever. You're actually beginning to sway me, whatever, because I did not see it as, yeah, I get the safe space.
Yeah,
I get that. Whatever. I didn't see it. You know how we say, you know, put an onion back, taking a step further, whatever, take it another layer down. It's okay.
It's okay.
You know what I mean? Your culture, it's okay to be different. It's okay to love your culture.
Thank you.
It's okay.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? And I think, you know, that.
And that don't take away from me respecting yours or loving yours.
You know what I mean? It's okay.
It's okay.
Maybe. And I just think, and this is why I sat back and I was processing what you were saying, whatever case it be. It was like, if that's the atmosphere,
that's the atmosphere.
Okay. That's
what it's telling. That's what it's telling us.
Man, I'm 40 and that's where I need to be.
Because
you know what I'm saying?
Everything outside these places is telling us it's not okay to grow my hair out. It's not okay to keep my beard. It's not okay.
So to that point, I
love these places, man.
You started swaying me.
I love these places. I do, because you can come here and
it's okay.
Be you.
Yeah, like you just said, it's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Like pardon the French.
No, I love these places. Yeah. And that's what. Every time I step on these places, it's right now. I believe it's 105. It used to be 106 that were active. I've probably visited about a good 50. I'm almost halfway there. Like,
well, listen.
You know what I mean?
We're about to take these viewers on a ride.
Let's do it. The Kiss and Tea Podcast, episode 30.
30. This is
Cheney University, the first. It's just the first of many
conversations.
105. Listen here.
We on the road, baby.
What did we miss? Clearly, we missed a whole bunch.
For sure.
It's our first time at an HBCU. We had to set all this stuff up. Lights crazy. It's hot. Shout out to Miss Mona for making this all happen for us.
Don't got no staff.
You know what I mean?
The staff.
It was crazy. It was kind of but staff. We worked out. It was fine. It's fine.
I'm chilling.
Leave your comments in the comment section. I know there's some HBCU advocates, some HBCU folks who just really love this thing and are passionate about these institutions like I am. Clearly, KISS is getting involved, man.
Yeah, shout out to Cheney University for allowing us to do this,
right? And we want to make sure that they're around for as many years to come. So again, comments, we love them. We reply to every single last one. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like bell, button. And again, that notification bell means everything, so you can be notified every single time we drop.
You know we can't leave them without, hearing that bell sound, right? There we go. Kiss and Tea, episode 30.
University, the first.
Peace.
Episode 30. Peace.